Ogbe no pa menu no yonte hongo.
Mido wanyiye, ogbe no pa menu no yonte bolo. Omi bolo zebe bolo. Omi bolo ile bolo.
Mido wanyina mino so kondo pa menu no yonte ro.
Mido wanyiye, ogbe no pa menu no yonte bolo. Omi bolo zebe bolo. Omi bolo ile bolo.
Mena gbe medika no sike.
Omi bolo zebe bolo. Omi bolo ile bolo.
Mena gbe medika no sike. Mena gbe mebi mano sike. Tikere pe ya toto agamupo. Tikere pe ya toto agamupa. Hoya hoya hoy. 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 Come tele mono che me fide.
Waina bueno genuna vega.
Tele mono che me fide.
Waina bueno genuna vega. Ora con mi matoi. Ora con mi ma. Ora con mi matoi. Ora con mi ma. Ogbe no pa menu no yonte bolo. Omi bolo bolo. Omi bolo zebe bolo. Omi bolo bolo.
Mido wanyina mino so gbe no pa menu no yonte hongo.
Mido wanyiye, ogbe no pa menu no yonte bolo. Omi bolo zebe bolo. Omi bolo bolo.
Mido wanyina mino so kondo pa menu no yonte ro.
Mido wanyiye, ogbe no pa menu no yonte bolo. Omi bolo zebe bolo. Omi bolo bolo.
Mena gbe medika no sike.
Omi bolo zebe bolo. Omi bolo bolo.
Mena gbe medika no sike. Mena gbe mebi mano sike. Tikere pe ya toto agamupo. Tikere pe ya toto agamupa. Hoya hoya hoy. 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 Come tele mono che me fide.
Waina bueno genuna vega.
Tele mono che me fide.
Waina bueno genuna vega. Ora con mi matoi. Ora con mi ma. Ora con mi matoi. Ora con mi ma. Ogbe no pa menu no yonte bolo. Omi bolo bolo. Omi bolo zebe bolo. Omi bolo bolo.
Mido wanyina mino so gbe no pa menu no yonte hongo.
Mido wanyiye, ogbe no pa
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. ربنا ولنا الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
You'll be seeing all these houses over here. plane down to that side. I don't understand. Because this is where they call semi-border. Are you clear? So this Nigeria, if you look on the world now, you see Nigeria flag with color. You see it. Now look at that pillar again. You see where they put Nigeria this thing. That's where our power is supposed to stop. That's where we're supposed to stop. We're not supposed to enter here. I don't understand. And see whatever. But simply because the fence have covered some of the places. That's why I want to use the chance. But they said anything we come to that side, we can enter Kutonu, and we be like say we people just want to use trick to go and discharge it over there. Are you clear? So this is the border within Nigeria and Kutonu. Are you clear? Now we are going to the slave museum. Where we are going to, the instrument you are going to see there have been there about 500 years ago, and those are the original instruments they use on the slaves. Are you clear? You see the one for the mouth, the one for the leg, the one for the neck, and other things like that. I don't understand. So we are now moving to the slave relics museum now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are welcome to Badagry. My name is Temitope Mobi, and this is the Mobi Family Slave Relics Museum. Inside this museum, we have the real chain shackles used on our forefathers during the period of slave trade. And the chain inside the museums are over 500 years old. Now, Badagry was known to be a slave corridor, slave coast. There were two major slave coasts in Nigeria back then, Badagry and Calabar, for transatlantic slave trade. Transatlantic slave trade means the slaves were transported through the Atlantic Ocean to wherever they are taking them to. Because in Nigeria, we practice both transatlantic and trans-Sahara. Trans-Sahara was practiced in northern Nigeria, and the Arab were their customer. Trans-Sahara lasted for about 1,500 years, while transatlantic slave trade only lasted for about 350 to 400 years. Some of you are talking. Transatlantic slave trade only lasted for about 350 to 400 years here in Badagry. So the real chain used during the period of slave trade are what we have inside the Mobi Slave Relics Museum. Some of us, we have the opportunity, if possible. Do you have the head boy among us? Where's the head boy? Okay, when we get inside the head boy, we carry the chain and feel the weight of the chain. Our forefathers were meant to walk with around their neck for 18 hours. While traveling, the chain will be around them for 3 to 4 months before they get to their final destination. Now, can we read this together? Now, I told you what we practice in Badagry is called transatlantic slave trade. Abi? Now, these are slaves working in sugarcane plantation. So, the chain will be around them inside the farm for 18 hours every day. For the man not to eat sugarcane, for the man not to talk while working on the farm, because the white men believe that while they are working and they are communicating, they can plan on how to attack their master. They pierce their lips with mouth clip. They pierce their mouth, the lower and the upper lips. In the morning while going to the farm, they put the mouth clip inside and padlock their mouth. So when we get inside, the head boy will carry the chain around his neck and the head girl. I've seen the head girl. They will carry it. They will tell us how light the chain is around their neck. They are going to walk with it around their neck for 18 hours every day. This is not the only museum in Badagry. We have the Brazilian Barrack, which is itself. We have the first building in Nigeria. We have the Heritage Museum and the Blakete Slave Market. Then the point of no return. So this is the grave of Chief Sumu Mobi. The man buried here, the father, was a middleman between the white and the black. I told you what parties in Badagry is transatlantic slave trade. So any slaves captured from the Oyo Empire were brought down to Badagry. Slaves captured from the eastern part of Nigeria were taken to Calabar. Our forefathers buy slaves from their fellow black and resell to the white men. That was the business the man buried here was doing. The father buys slaves from his fellow black and resell to the white men. So whenever they come around to buy slaves, the father entertain the white people with kola nut. The Yorubas we call kola nut odi. So each time they come, the man offer them kola nut. He tells them in Yoruba language, Oyinbo Remi, Emobije. They always hear him saying Emobije, so they gave him a nickname from there, Chief Mobi. And so the family adopts that Mobi as a family name. And Mobi is now a chieftaincy title in Badagry today. I'm from the family. The man buried here happened to be my great-great-great-grandfather. Happened to be a 5th generation. The father was involved in the trade. The father signed the Treaty of the Abolition of Slave Trade with the British in the year 1852. Officially, slave trade was abolished in Badagry in the 1852. But physically, the trade was abolished in the year 1888. The father was among the 8 chiefs in Badagry that signed the treaty in the year 1852. You now notice that they signed the treaty with the British. The Portuguese refused to leave Badagry. And so the man buried here waged war against the Portuguese slave merchants. He sees the last vessel of slaves leaving Badagry. The slave inside the vessel. This had the real chain around their neck. Slaves walk with this around neck for 18 hours every day. While traveling, this will be around them for 3 to 4 months before they get to their final destination. The head girl, please. Head girl.
Yes, sir.
What happened? What happened?
It's so heavy.
So heavy. Apart from the weight of the chain, did you feel anything on your body? Pain.
Yes.
Where?
Back of my neck.
And now, for how long can you carry this? Our forefather worked with this around their neck for 18 hours every day. Any other prefect here?
Nico.
Where is she? Is it true that the chain is heavy? Are you sure? Are you also feeling pain? Now you can thank God that they didn't give birth to us during the period of slave trade. Our forefather worked with this around their neck for 18 hours. While traveling, this will be around their neck for 3 to 4 months before they get to their final destination. Teachers, I think I'm going to give you this. So with this, no need of stressing yourself in the school. Hold your lips, stop making noise. You see, then slaves were usually not allowed to communicate to one another. Why? The white men are afraid. They are afraid of the black. They believe that while they are working and they are communicating, they can plan on how to attack their master. What they do then is they pierce their lips with hot iron, the lower and the upper lips. They perforate it. In the morning, while going to the farm, they put this on their mouth and they padlock their mouth like this for them not to talk or eat while working on the farm. Don't cry. I can see some of you. You want to cry. Please don't cry. This is called the light chain, and this is for the babies. Any child given birth by a slave is a slave. And so here in Africa, the white men prefer to buy pregnant woman or nursing mother, because they know that once they are buying a nursing mother, the baby will have to go with the mother pregnant woman, as soon as the woman delivers, the child is automatically a slave. For the children of the slave not to be playing about the farm so as not to step on where their parents have planted, they gather the children together. They change their race with the size of the chain. They make them sit under a tree far away from where their parents are working. And this is a torture weapon. This is for stubborn slave who refuse to work inside the farm. Slave who disobeys master, they force this into their hand down to the wrist. Most times this doesn't go in easily, so they have to break the bone. They force this to the wrist, then make the slave climb a platform. What's your name? Your name? Zainab is my master. So Zainab climb up and screw this up to a tall tree. And Zainab come down from the platform and remove the platform from my leg. What will happen to me? The slaves will now be hanged on the tree, dangling from morning to night. In the course of doing this, most of them die. They do this most time inside the farm to serve as a deterrent to other slaves or in the marketplace. This is called the branding iron. And this was used the rising name of slaves. Slaves don't bear name during the period of slavery. They bear the name of their master. For the master of the slave to be able to identify their slaves, they usually write their name on their body. And this is what we now adopt as fashion today. We call that tattoo. For those of you thinking of writing tattoo on your body, I usually tell people, tattoo is meant for who? Slaves. Are we slaves? No. The second function of this is to pierce the mouth of the slaves, so as to be able to padlock their mouth. So, sir, how many of the mouse clip do you need, sir? The last function of this is to pierce the foot of stubborn slave who try to run away being captured. When this is red hot, they hit this into the foot to pierce the leg or break the bone inside the leg. Lastly, this is called the ankle lock, and this is for the leg of two slaves. Two slaves were meant to walk with this around their ankle at the same time. They padlock this on their leg, and they will have to walk with this around their ankle at the same time. And you can imagine this on the leg of two human beings walking at a time. I'm sure some of us will have seen this before. Yeah. What do we call this, everybody? Cowries. And no wonder the Yorubas will call this Aje. Over here in Yoruba language. But this was only recognized as means of exchange in Africa. The white people doesn't see this as money, and that led to the introduction of trade by barter. So they bring items like bottle of dry gin for 10 slaves. Mirror. Mirror was in exchange of 10 slaves, an umbrella for 40 human beings. Here's a cannon gun. This size of the cannon gun was in exchange of 40. The big size of this cannon gun for 100 human beings. Why do we need the cannon gun? They brought the cannon gun to us so that we could wage war against ourselves, capture slaves, and resell back to the white men. I call that divide and conquer. They are still doing this in Africa up to date. There's a big bowl there. 40 to 50 slaves drink water from that bowl at a time. Sorry, please. Uncle. 40 to 50 slaves drink water from this at a time. They drink with their hand being tied to the back. They have to drink with their hand being tied to the back. So they bend down to lick water like animals. You agree with me, because they have access to food and water once in a day, they tend to rush the water. In the course of rushing, they get caught by the edge of the pot. The blood drips into the water. They drink the water like that because they have access to food and water once a day. Finally, this is a well at the point of no return. They call this well spirit alternation well. Slaves were forced to drink from the well. They were forced to make this recitation. After drinking and making the recitation, they become less aggressive. They lose their memory. That was the reason why Nigeria supplied 24% of slaves taken out of Africa. 24% was taken from Angola, 16% from Ghana. About 38.5% of slaves taken out of the whole of Africa were taken to Brazil. And that's why today, the Yoruba we speak in Nigeria is their second official language in Brazil today. It's a pity, and average Nigerian will not want his children to understand his local language. But in Brazil today, Yoruba is their second official language. They could not return back to Africa because of the water they took at the point of no return. Now, the slaves working in the farm are called plantation slaves, while slaves working in the house are called domestic slaves. The male domestic slaves were most times castrated. I'm sure we are boys, we know the meaning of castration. Abi? Okay, for those of us that doesn't know, because we are boys, I will tell you. You see, that 2 balls underneath your... Say you understand? They remove it. After removing it, the slaves will become very big, huge, and tall. And so, they make use of them in the house. They remove it because they will not want them to impregnate the wife or children of the master. They call them domestic slaves. The female domestic slaves were used as wet nurse. The white man would not want the breast of his wife to lose shape. So most times they don't allow their wife breastfeed. Once they decide that their wife is pregnant, they impregnate the black woman working with them in the house. And the black woman will be the one to breastfeed the child of the master. Sorry, why carrying the chain? Did you feel any pain around your body? Where?
My name is Who is a slave? Cornerstone. Who is a slave? A slave is someone's property or somebody under bondage. Slave eat and drink what I want. Slaves were not allowed to do this. Now, we have two categories of slaves. The domestic slaves that work in their master's house, while the field work on the farm, work on the plantation. And the plantation should be a very large number. We actually use 12. Now, this is a cenotaph of the man that owned the company. If you get to it to runabout, you see the statue standing at the runabout. He was co-founder of Aitro in the year 1902. When he was at the age of 6, he was captured as a slave boy at the tender age of 6. At what age? 6 years old. Okay. He was captured at age 6 years old. 6 years old. He has a name, Ifare Milekun. What I say? Ifare. That was the name given to him by his parents. But today, how comes his name changed to Seriki Williams Abbas? Abbas was the first master that owns him as a slave. And Abbas was a black man, a slave trader and Islamic scholar who resided in the Republic of Dahomey. The Republic of Dahomey was changed to the Republic in 1975, maybe in the Kotonu. So during the advice and Dahomey war, that's when they captured him and captured him as a slave. And Abbas was the first master that owns him as a slave. And Abbas was a black man, slave trader, and Islamic scholar. He made him a domestic slave. He later resold the father to another man called William. Never say William. A white man. William took him down to Brazil, made him domestic slave too. He now taught him how to read and write, which was illegal. It was illegal. That say it's not right. Slave must not go to school. The reason why they don't want to send them to school, they believe that if they were being given education, one day they will rise up and fight for their rights. So through William, Ifare Milekun speak English, Dutch, Spanish, and Portuguese, and he could read and he could write. But one day, William, the second master, now called him because intention to use him. Ma'am, let me give you your freedom, but on condition you are going to work for me. And William set him free. When he left Brazil, he first settled down in Lagos. From Lagos colony, Ifare Milekun came down to set two guys and started right now. When he came here, it was the second master, Williams, that built this compound for in 1840. In 1895, he became the Seriki Musulumi of Badagry. Seriki is a title among the Muslims. Because slaves bear their master's name, that's why he chose to bear the name of the first master, the second, and the title that he had. His real name, Ifare Milekun, disappeared because slaves have no name. They bear their master's name. What is your name? That's it. What is your name? Aisa. If I'm Abdulaziz Aisat slave, what will be my name? You mentioned the two names. Alila. Is it Alila? Aziza. Aliza. Okay, Aliza. Sorry if I don't pronounce the name. What is your own name? Awal. How about you? Raymond. Now, Raima. Roima. Sorry, if I'm Roiman and our slave, what will be my name? You mentioned the two names, yeah. Because slaves bear their master's name. Now, the world know this compound as Brazilian Barracoon. And the main reason why they call this compound Brazilian Barracoon, the slaves taken from this compound were taken to Brazil. And they were Yoruba origin. And that's why today we get to Brazil, you see the traces of the Yorubas down in Brazil. And Barracoon is a Portuguese. I will say Portuguese. Oh, it was the Portuguese who started the a man called a navigator of Portugal. And then the trade, what I call, lasted for 4 years. But later, the English also joined the trade. The name of the first slave ship is meaning Jesus of Lubeck, or Good Ship Jesus, owned by King Henry VIII of England. The Queen Elizabeth I rented to one just Hawking. They said taking African away as a slave. Now, when they came. Now, the first slave trade started by the Arabs. What I say? Tunisia, Morocco, Libya that we see today, we are the blacks. We call them the Kush, the Nubian, the Canaanites. The first pharaoh of Egypt was a black man, Menes. But today, if you get to Egypt, you realize that it was a white Arab ruling. What happened to the Aborigines? Those who are here. In the 11th century, the Arabs invaded Egypt with jihadists and they killed all the blacks. Along that, as they gave them Islam. I think that's how Islam came into Africa. Now, I'm not saying anything wrong with those two religions, that be Christian or Muslim, that we practice. We Africans, our fathers, we have our own way of worshiping God. Now, let's turn around and face the world. Now, as we are facing the world, those drawings, those are some of the European products that were used in exchange for the slave when they came. When the Europeans came to Africa, we have our own money, it's a currency. Only days, our father used tobacco as a money. Yellow salt we are used as a money. The salt we call Manila and cowrie shell. Europeans said they don't want to do business with them with the kind of money. That they should do a trade known as trade by barter. I will say trade by barter. Trade by barter simply means exchange good for good. Europeans will give our forefather one umbrella, they collect 40 human beings as a slave. We see how the surviving umbrella I'm going to show you guys. A bottle of whiskey go for 10 human beings as a slave. The long cannon gun go for 100. The smaller and 40 slave. European will give our forefather a ceramic bowl. We call it unbreakable plate in our houses. They collect 10 human beings as a slave. When this man became the Seriki Muslim, Badagry, if I remember, became Seriki Muslim. What turban? You know those Muslim clerics, they used to put those big clothes on their head. Brazilian gave it, yeah, thank you, Lawani. Brazilian gave him the bradis as a gift, while the kettle was given to him by the European when they want to turban him. Now, mirror and beads, there's what they call bargaining power. Your teacher can say 3 slaves, you guys can say 5, me I can say 10, depending the way you could bargain and negotiate with the European. Now, out of the, we have 40 rooms in this compound, and all the rooms are called barracoon, meaning cell, where they care human being, 40 in each of the room. They will be privileged to just sit 2. Now, each room we are being occupied by his family. All these people you see today, where can you find cell? Which Badagry? Police station, barrack. Okay, now you listen now. Out of the 40 room, if you guys should turn around, we still have the section of the compound at the back of that building. They are all 40 cells where they kept human being as a slave. Now, these are the 2 rooms we'll be privileged to see. But before we go in, the rooms look like a room and parlor. The first room, that's where they will do the inspection of the slave. Because their aims and objectives, they were going to work where they're taking them. So they want a very healthy slave. The first room, that's where they'll check them to see if they are healthy. The inner where they kept 40, if you guys go in, just look up, you see a smaller window that will give them ventilation. Imagine keeping 40 enslaved human beings inside that room. Then, inside the room, that's where they defecate, pee, do a lot of things. Imagine the odor, the heat. Imagine how many human beings called slaves will have died inside this compound. That's the main reason when people come here, I used to tell them, you are not here to catch one, but just to feel the pain the people of the past have felt. Now, there's one item, number 7 inside. We call it branding iron. Please. So I'm going to lift it up. This is the surviving umbrella for 40 human beings. The umbrella was made of wood, bronze, steel, cane, and iron. And this umbrella is so heavy, as you can see. It's just to be like 70 to 20 kg. And as heavy as it is, just a guy constantly have to carry it firm on the head of the master while the master is outside. If the umbrella drop from the hand of the slave to the head of the master, they'll beheaded him. Because slaves were somebody's property. And they believe they can do into their property. Children or pupil, do you think this is worth 40 human beings? No. That's to tell you the kind of leaders Africa have been breeding right from the crowd of how could they exchange 40 healthy human beings with this ordinary umbrella call. Now, you see, when you go inside, you just look up, you see the same umbrella where we are introduced to the former Vice President of Nigeria, Yemi Osinbajo, 5 years ago when the Vice President paid a courtesy visit to the museum. Now, there's one item, number 7, we call it branding iron. They put it in the fire to write the name of the slave on the checks. Then we seen all those things that I show you guys on the wall. Now, the room is called dark room. You can put on the torchlight of your phone because it's already dark, okay? Now, so, okay, yeah, see, okay, ceramic, okay. You see all those plates, the ceramic bowl, one plate go for 10 slaves. You've been seeing 5. So that's 5 means 50 human beings as a slave.
àlọ́ òkú ó ya ya ọ̀sán ó ya ọmọ burúkú torí bọ̀ kí ni o àlọ́ ọ̀gá for you àlọ́ àlọ́ à ń lọ sọ́yọ́ ó kọjú sọ́yọ́ àdẹ̀jẹ̀ sọ́tọ́. Okay, so continue if you don't know what I'm saying. Continue with as many of them.
Hello, mo yàgbẹ́ àpàtà mo fi rí àpàtà bò kí ni o. No. Òkè àti ilẹ̀.
Àlọ́ o. Àlọ́ o. Kí ló kọba ní kò? I don't want to hear. Establish your hand. Simple instruction. Ta ló mọ̀ o? Ẹni rẹ́sẹ̀ ìlú lọ, ó yá kàn wá sọ fún wa o. Jáde wá sọ fún wa. Kí ló ń dàbẹ̀ fẹ́lẹ́ o? Ó ṣì o. Àbí. Àbí ẹlẹ́kùnrin o. Ó yá wá sọ fún wa o. Àbí. Ẹlẹ́kùnrin o. Yarun. Okay, that is the modern one. But the only one is not Yarun. Just closer to it. So, ta ló mọ̀ o? If you want confidence in yourself, you don't know it, you don't know it, you learn it. Oh, Shadi. I said somebody that said Yaru, which is both. Orúkú bíbá ọmọ gbogbo ọ̀nà lóró nú kí ni o. Ta ló mọ̀ o? Rẹ́sẹ̀ ìṣègbè sílẹ̀ sí ìkọ́jú. Orúkú bíbá ọmọ gbogbo wọn lóró nú kí ni o. Have confidence in oh, ṣí o. Kiri jigbe, kiri jigbe, kiri jigbe, kiri jigbe, kiri jigbe.
Okay, so.
It's not kiri jigbe o, it's kiri jigbe. Can you say it again? Kiri jigbe, kiri jigbe, kiri jigbe, kiri jigbe, kiri jigbe. So you hold it.
Àkókò tó láti pàlọ́.
Okay, àlọ́ o. Àlọ́ mi dá lórí fùgbàgbọ́ iṣẹ́ lórí kíni. Ṣé lórí kíni àlọ́ mi? Ah God. Rántí ọ̀lẹ́.
Àlọ́ o. Ní ọjọ́ kan. Ẹ gbà mí. Ẹyin tí àwọn ẹ̀jẹ̀ ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́. Ní ọjọ́ kan kì í kọ́ láyé. Àlọ́ o. Ní
So there was a king. No, calm down. So ọba ìlú yẹn ó fẹ́ ìyàwó méjì. So nínú ìlú yẹn àbí àwọn ìyàwó yẹn sorry igbá kan ló máa fi ń wẹ̀ like one calabash that's what they used to back. Wọ́n máa fi igbá kan wẹ̀. So igbá yẹn kò gbọdọ̀ fọ́. So lọ́jọ́ kan the two wives ìyàwó méjèèjì yẹn orúkọ wọn ni Tọ́nọ̀sì Ìlẹ́rẹ́ àti Tọ́nọ̀sì. So Tọ́nọ̀sì wá gbé igbá yẹn ó lọ fi wẹ̀ ó wá fọ́ ó wá lọ parọ́ ọba wá rí ọba wá béèrè pé ta ló fọ́ gbá yẹn. Yes. Okay, so fọ́ yes so ó wá béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn ìyàwó ẹ̀ pé ta ló fọ́ gbá yẹn. Tọ́nọ̀sì wá parọ́ mọ́ Ìlẹ́rẹ́ pé Ìlẹ́rẹ́ ló fọ́ igbá yẹn and what's the rule no the punishment why would I sit down like that? Okay, ìjìyà tó wà ní ìdí tó wà fún fífọ́ igbá yẹn ni wọ́n máa bẹ́ orí ẹni tó fọ́ igbá yẹn they will hang it. Nínú market nínú ọjà níta gbangba ni o so láàrin ọjà yẹn so Tọ́nọ̀sì wá parọ́ mọ́ Ìlẹ́rẹ́ pé Ìlẹ́rẹ́ ló fọ́gbà so wọ́n wá bẹ́ orí Ìlẹ́rẹ́ wọ́n wá fi kọ́ ní sáàrin ọjà so lọ́jọ́ kan àwọn méjì ń kọjá nínú ọjà yẹn the first ìkíní wá sọ fún kejì pé orí Ìlẹ́rẹ́ ló ń bẹ lókè àgbọn. Ìlẹ́rẹ́ tó fọ́gbá so Ìlẹ́rẹ́ wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní kọrin ahead. So
wọ́n ti bẹ́ orí onítọ̀hún ti kú nìyẹn so but in this instance orí yẹn torí pé ó fẹ́ jà torí pé ìkànnì wọn ti torí pé kò ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ yẹn Ọlọ́run wá fún lágbára láti ó wá kọrin báyìí pé.
Yeah, so Ìlẹ́rẹ́ wá sọ pé kirikiri jigbin kirikiri jigbin Tọ́nọ̀sì ló fọ́gbá ẹlẹ́mì Ìlẹ́rẹ́ ni kirikiri jigbin. So they were surprised. What surprise? So ó yà wọ́n lẹ́nu àyà wọn wá já so wọ́n wá lọ bá ọba yìí pé báyìí la rí o. So inú wa bí ọba yẹn ó bá wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ Tọ́nọ̀sì pé ṣé wọ́n ló fọ́gbá yẹn so ó wá padà jẹ́ pé òun ló fọ́. So wọ́n wá bẹ́ orí Tọ́nọ̀sì tó dènà wọ́n á fi kọ́ wọ́n sin Ìlẹ́rẹ́ ní ọ̀nà tó tọ́ àtọ̀nà tó yẹ kẹ́bìrì. Okay, so what's that? Say lesson. Okay, we sing it again. Kirikiri jigbin kirikiri jigbin Tọ́nọ̀sì ló fọ́gbá ẹlẹ́mì Ìlẹ́rẹ́ ni kirikiri jigbin. Oh, okay, so what's the lesson? What's the lesson in Yoruba? Kí ni ẹ̀kọ́ tá kọ́ nínú àlọ́? Please read and no chorus answer. Farida. Stand up. We cannot hear you. So she said ẹ̀kọ́ tá kọ́ níbi àlọ́ yẹn ni pé ká má máa parọ́ ṣọ́gbà àbòsí or whatever something like that. We should not be lying. Stand up. Your own voice is loud. Say it, baby. Stand up. That's the main lesson.
Babaláwo mo wá bẹ̀bẹ̀ alùjọ̀njọ̀ ògùn tẹ́ fún mi alùjọ̀njọ̀ mo wá bẹ̀bẹ̀ alùjọ̀njọ̀ fọwọ́ lẹ́nu alùjọ̀njọ̀ alùjọ̀njọ̀
ojú wo kò orí gbẹ̀ndú
alùjọ̀njọ̀ mo wá bẹ̀bẹ̀ alùjọ̀njọ̀.
Babaláwo
mo wá bẹ̀bẹ̀
alùbẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ alùjọ̀njọ̀ alùbẹ̀rẹ̀ babaláwo
mo wá bẹ̀bẹ̀ alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀
babaláwo
alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀ alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀
lóní màmá fọwọ́ kẹnu
alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀
lóní màmá fọwọ́ kẹnu
alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀
mo fojú ọbẹ̀ tó bẹ́ dorí
alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀
mo fọwọ́ kan ọbẹ̀ mo mú lẹ́nu
alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀
mo fojú okùn orí pẹ̀ntù
alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀ alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀
babaláwo mo wá bẹ̀bẹ̀
alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀
òun tó ṣe fún mẹ́rẹ̀kù
alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀
lóní màmá fọwọ́ kẹnu
alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀
lóní màmá fẹsẹ̀ kẹnu
alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀
mo fọwọ́ kan ọbẹ̀ mo mú lẹ́nu
alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀
mo fojú okùn orí pẹ̀ntù
alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀
babaláwo mo wá bẹ̀bẹ̀.
alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀
Àlọ́
ní ọjọ́ kan nígbà kan nílùú kan a ní ìjàpá àti ìjọba ló ń gbé ní ìlú yẹn wọ́n ti fẹ́ra wọn tó ti pẹ́ gan wọn sì lọ́mọ kankan ìjàpá wá gba ọ̀nà babaláwo lọ ó wá lọ bá babaláwo bàbá ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ó ti pẹ́ tí mo ti fẹ́yàwó mi a dẹ̀ tí bọ́mọ kankan ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ ṣàánú mi babaláwo wá fún ní oògùn pé kó lọ fún ìyàwó ẹ̀ pé ìyàwó ẹ̀ máa lóyún pé ìyàwó ẹ̀ máa lóyún babaláwo wá kìlọ̀ fún pé ọkùnrin kankan kò gbọdọ̀ fẹnu kàn ìgbà tí ó wá délé ó wá gbé oògùn yẹn sílẹ̀ oògùn yẹn dẹ̀ ní òórùn tó dáa ó ń ta sọ́sọ́ gan ó wá ní pé kóun tọ́ díẹ̀ ó wá tọ́ díẹ̀ ó pẹ́ díẹ̀ ikùn ẹ̀ wá ga sí ìta ó wá dípò tí lóyún ó wá lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ babaláwo ó wá lọ bẹ̀bẹ̀ torí ẹ̀ ni ó fi ń kọrin aláwo mo wá bẹ̀bẹ̀ alúgbẹ̀rẹ̀ 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 babaláwo wá ní pé òun ò lè ṣe kankan sí pé kó máa lọ pé kó kúrò lọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀ tí kò bá kúrò lọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀ ó máa ṣe nǹkan.
ajá o ràn mí lẹ́rù gbangbara kò gbá ẹ máa sọ pé gbangbara kò gbá ajá o ràn mí lẹ́rù bó o bá ràn mí lẹ́rù máa ké sólókó polóko dé o máa kígbe olè àlọ́ o ní ọjọ́ kan ní ìgbà kan ìlú wà ní ìlú ẹranko iyàn mú gan ta ló mọ tá à ń pè ní iyàn. Ta ló mọ o drought ta ló mọ Yorùbá ẹ̀ tó tún lè tú dáadáa yàtọ̀ sí English yàtọ̀ sí Gẹ̀ẹ́sì kò sí oúnjẹ ní ìlú so kò sí oúnjẹ ní ìlú ebi wá ń pa àwọn ẹranko gbogbo èèyàn ló gbẹ páù àmọ́ tá a bá délé ajá níṣẹ́ ni ajá ń yan níṣẹ́ ni ajá ń dán ajá ń yọkùn wọn àti ìyàwó àtàwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ àwọn á ń gbádùn ó wá ya ìjàpá lẹ́nu pé pẹ̀lú bí gbogbo wa ṣe ń gbẹ tí gbogbo wa rí gbẹgbẹlẹkùgbẹ tó wá di pé ajá bò ní wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe ajá ní wo ìmílẹ̀ ọlọ́run ló mọ bí ṣe ń ṣàánú èmi náà ìjàpá wá rí i pé irọ́ lajá ń pa ó ṣà ń bẹ ajá tí tájá wá fi ń tọ̀ ó máa mú ọ lọ bì kan o àmọ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ sọ fún èèyàn kan ó dẹ̀ ṣàdéhùn fún pé òun ò ní sọ fún èèyàn kankan ó wá mú jáde lọ́jọ́ kan wọ́n lọ sí oko olóko nílùú ibi tó jìnnà wọ́n wá lọ wa iṣu ìgbà tí wọ́n débẹ̀ tí wọ́n wa iṣu ajá ó ra muṣu kan ń bẹ̀ ó jẹ ń bẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ mú ẹyọ kan mú méjì ó gbé dání pé òun ó gbé lọ fún àwọn ìyàwó àtọmọ nílé àmọ́ ìjàpá lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí wọ́n jẹ tán ó dì sọ́wọ́ ó dì síkùn ó dì sẹ́sẹ̀ ó dì sórí ó wá kó iṣu ó wá pọ̀ ìgbà tí wọ́n wá ń lọlé ajá wá ń sáré lọ ìjàpá ò wá réré sá nítorí ẹrù tó kó ó wá rọra ń rìn ó wá ń kọrin wípé ajá ajá ò ràn mí lẹ́rù ajá ajá ò ràn mí lẹ́rù gbangbala kò gba ajá ajá ò ràn mí lẹ́rù gbangbala bó o bá ràn mí lẹ́rù máa ké sólépo.
rọ̀ mí lẹ́rù. Ó bá dúró rọ̀ mí lẹ́rù. Màkìjọ olóko ọkọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ọjọ́ o, ọjọ́ wa dé. Ọjọ́ wa dé, ọjọ́ ìlú bẹ́ẹ̀ fún bẹ́ẹ̀. Ọjọ́ dúró rọ̀ mí lẹ́rù.
Ó yẹ kọrin.
Lọ ṣeré nú ilé.
Àwọn inú òjò kí aṣọ rẹ. Yes. Yes.
Gbangbangbang dìgbàdìgbàgbàdìbú. Yẹ́m yẹ́m yẹ́m. We are Martina. We are Martina.
Wọ́n mọ̀, wọ́n mọ̀.
Àwọn ọmọ aláìgbọràn wọn.
Speak up, speak up, speak up. Àwọn ọmọ aláìgbọràn lọ sílé ìwé ẹ́. Ẹlẹ́nu ẹ kọrin. Iṣẹ́. Okay. Dòdò àti ráìsì kò gbọdọ̀ kọjá wọ́n jẹun wọ́n kò dòrògòdò.
Mr. Macaroni.
Kárìnà rẹ̀ bá sì kú ibi wọ́n tún. Mr. Oró sọ pé bọ̀m̀bọ̀m Mr. Macaroni.
Tinkle tinkle little star.
How I wonder what you are. Up above there was so high, like a diamond in the sky. Tinkle tinkle little star.
Adìyẹ mi èyí tí mo rà ó tó jù rẹ̀ ó sì dàgbà.
Wọ́n mọ̀. Àwọn ọkùnrin ò mọ̀ rárá. Wonderful. Sígbà ló ń bọ̀, mo dáná fún. Mi ò gbọ́, àgbà ní ń dà, mi ò gbọ́. Ọlágúnjú.
Agogo bàbá.
Speak up.
Agogo bàbá mi.
Ẹgbẹ́ ògiri ló dúró. Ìkan. Èkejì. Gẹ́gẹ́. Now let me see your hand. Let's go. Again. HIV kẹ. HIV for the hip. MPO. Hippopotamus.
Ìmọ́tótó ló lè ṣẹ́gun àrùn.
Ìmọ́tótó ló lè ṣẹ́gun àrùn. Ìmọ́tótó ilé.
Ìmọ́tótó ara, ìmọ́tótó jẹ́.
Ìmọ́tótó.
Ló lè ṣẹ́gun àrùn gbogbo. Johnny, yes, Papa.
Open your mouth.
Black sheep, are you ready?
Black sheep. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Kí ni ó fò lè ṣe láyé tí mo wá?
Thank you. Kí ni wọ́n fò lè ṣe láyé? Kí ni wọ́n fò lè ṣe láyé tí mo wá? Kàkà kí n jalè. Kàkà kí n jalè. Láyé tí mo wá. Yes.
Òrè mi fà sọ́lá. Abẹ́ igi
Òròmbó. Okay. Lábẹ́ igi òròmbó. Boys, what is happening? Ìwé kíkọ́. Kò ì pé o. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ níṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa.
ìyá ní wúrà iyebíye.
Kí a kò lè fowó ra. Ìyá f'oṣù mẹ́sàn-án, ó kọ́ mi f'oṣù mẹ́fà. Ìyá iyebíye tí a kò.
The wheels on the bus go round.
Ìyá lólùkọ́ wọ́n ní òkè ẹ̀yìn rẹ̀ lò. Ìyá kú iṣẹ́ mi, èmi kí ìyá mi kú iṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú tẹríba mọ́lẹ̀. Àìkú ajé ìṣẹ́gun. Ṣẹ́rẹ̀rẹ̀rẹ̀ náà. Seven rivers in Africa. Let's go now in Naija, Benue, Congo, Zambezi. Everybody put your hands together for yourself. Do you know one thing I want you to know about the rhyme? Happy. We are H-A-P-P-Y. The spelling. We know we are. We are H-A-P-P-Y. Happy. Ìyá títí ti ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Ìyá títí ti ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Ebi pa wá, àwa fẹ́ jẹyán. Who know this song? Spider-Man. Ìyá títí fẹ́ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Bàbá títí fẹ́ dánwò. Everybody ló máa ṣe. Jọ̀lọ́wọ́. Mayo, when shall I? Bàtà mi á dún kó ká. Bàtà mi á dún. Tí o bá kàwé rẹ̀. Lóbólóbó ta ní ọ̀lọ́ ọjà bó bá dalẹ̀. Lóbólóbó ta ní ọ̀lọ́ ọjà bó bá dalẹ̀. Owó bá ń ra yọ olóòótọ́
bọ̀ bó bá lọ. Gbowó bá ayé olóòkan bọ̀ bó bá lọ. Kí ló dé? Àní kí ló dé sẹ́?
Kò sí kankan.
Ǹjẹ́ o bú mọ́?
Kí ló jẹ́?
Kí ló ń jẹ́ o bú mọ́? Mo bú mọ́. Kí ni ń jẹ́ mọ́? Kí ni ń jẹ́ adé? Kí ni ń jẹ́ pò? Kí ni ń jẹ́ ìṣẹ́rẹ́? Kí ni ń jẹ́ ọmọyọ? Kí ni ń jẹ́ àkókò? Kí ni ń jẹ́ òrìṣà? Kí ni ń jẹ́ aláyé? Kí ni ń jẹ́ ọlọ́run? Kí ni ń jẹ́ kòló? Kí ni ń jẹ́ ajúbà? Kí ni ń jẹ́ rẹ̀rẹ̀? Kí ni ń jẹ́ mọ̀gún? Kí ni ń jẹ́ onírè? Kí ni ń jẹ́ afọ? Kí ni ń jẹ́ ìyẹ́? Kí ni ń jẹ́ àṣà? Kí ni ń jẹ́ òkè? Kí ni ń jẹ́ ilẹ̀? Kí ni ń jẹ́ òwú? Mọ̀ dáadáa.
Okay, now we are at the end of this gathering, this wonderful gathering. I pray to Almighty Allah, those that will still be with us. I'm talking about the SS3 that will be passing out and the other people that we have with us. Inshallah, be kudrat in life. But next section, we shall still have this kind of gathering again, inshallah. Kò sẹ́ni kankan tó máa dín nínú wa o. Àwọn ọkùnrin ṣáà ń fọ́ọ̀mù ṣá. Kàkàkà dí a máa lé sí ni o. Kàkàkà dí a máa lé sí ni o.
Alhamdulillah, 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 rabbil alamin. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم وعملا متقبلا اللهم انا نعوذ بك من عذاب القبر ومن عذاب جهنم ومن فتنة المحيا والممات ومن شر فتنة المسيح الدجال صلاة الكوثر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أعطيناك الكوثر وصل ربك وانحر وشانك ربك.
Alhamdulillah, the college students, 78 of them, came on excursion. They were to see all these monumental places and matters to broaden the scope of their knowledge with regards to the history of this place in particular. And we've been here since yesterday, and inshallah, after Juma service today, we intend to start going back to Ikorodu. It exposes the children to experiences and knowledge beyond the classroom, and that's why we're here. And because the owners are very passionate about what happens to these children, we always will not leave them alone. That's why you will see me coming with them, and a large number of staff followed us. We have a guide that has been taking us through. We have buses with drivers and attendants, and of course, we have the services of private security agents, so that we have a holistic view of what we want to learn. It's been so wonderful since we've been around.
First story building in Nigeria. The story building was built in 1845. Built what year? 1845. 18 what? 45. But now we are now in 2020 what? 4. Now how old is this building now? 179 years. 100 and what? 179 years. 170 what? 9 years. And it was built what year? 1845 by a reverend called Reverend C.A. Goldman. Reverend C.A. what? Goldman. G-O-L-L-M-E-R. G-O-L-L-M-E what? R. Reverend C.A. what? Goldman. Building the story building what year? 1845. But inside of this building, we have 6 bedrooms inside of this building. Inside of this building, we have 2 sitting rooms. And inside of this building, we have 4 stores. But no toilet inside of this building. No kitchen inside of this building. No bedroom inside of this story building. Kitchen, toilet, and bedroom built what? Outside. So inside of this building, we are going to see a painting of a tree called the Agia tree. Painting of a tree called what? Agia tree. It's because the tree produced what? A fruit called Agia. And we normally call it Anwi or Lekeleke or Veven Tamari. So that is the fruit the tree produced. So they named the tree Agia what? Agia tree in Badagry. So it was under Agia tree missionaries start preaching the gospel of Christianity. And it was under the Agia tree missionaries celebrated the first Christmas. Under what? The Agia tree. They start preaching of gospel of Christianity under what? The Agia tree. And they celebrated the first Christmas under what? The Agia tree. By 2 reverend missionaries. Which is Reverend Thomas Besh Freeman and Reverend Henry what? Townsend. Reverend Thomas what? Besh Freeman and Reverend Henry what? Townsend. So 2 reverend missionaries preaching gospel under the tree. In what year? 1842. 1842. The gospel of Christianity started in Badagry and Christmas celebrated under the tree called what? Agia tree. But the Agia tree is no more standing. Agia tree fell in Badagry on the 20th June 1959. 20th June 19 what? 20th June 19 what? Time 11:45 p.m. on Saturday night. 11:45 p.m. on what? Saturday night. The Agia tree what? Fell. But Agia tree stands for 350 years. Agia tree stands for 350 years. Now inside of the one of the rooms inside of the building, we are going to see the room of the first teacher. Room of the first what? Because the Western education started in Badagry. The Western education started in where? Badagry. Name of the first primary school. Name of the what? First primary school. Called St. Thomas Primary School. St. Thomas what? St. Thomas what? Primary School. That is the first primary school in Nigeria. First what? Primary school in Nigeria. The school was established in 1845. The primary school was established what year? 1845. The first primary school was established in 1845. But not for the children and not for the women. The school established for old men. Started primary school. Old men going to primary school then. Because according to the history, youngest student among men started primary schools. Their age to start primary school is 45 years. Youngest in class is what? Started primary school at the age of what? 45 years. The oldest men among men started primary school. Then, he started primary school at the age of 58 years. The youngest one is what? 45. The oldest one? 58. You people started primary school at the age of 2 years or 1.5 years. Am I right? and you are spending maybe 6 years, 5 years, 4 years in primary school. Am I right? But these people we're talking about, they are old men. They started primary school at the age of 45 years and above. Are you getting the point now? But you people did what? How many subjects in primary school? Either 14 subjects, or 13 subjects, or 16 subjects, or 17 subjects. Am I right?
Yes.
But those 40 men that we're talking about, they taught them 2 subjects. English what? No. English and CRS. English and what? CRS. Christian Religion Study. Now, do you know that it's difficult for our men to learn another language with their age and to start what? Writing and reading. So difficult for our men to learn very fast. So each one of those men spent 12 years in primary school. So each one of the men spent how many years in primary school? 12 years. Now take 12 years now and plus it is 45. Or take 12 years plus with 58. So it's almost 57 years to 70 years in primary school. Today you are going to see the picture of the school. Today you are going to see the picture of the teacher. So which is called Mr. Claudius Phillips. Mr. what? Claudius Phillips. And that is the name of the first teacher. Mr. what? Claudius Phillips. That is the name of the first what? Teacher. Now, today you are going to see the room of a man called Bishop Samuel Ajayi Crowther. And that is the where that man called Ajayi sat down and changed English Bible into what? Yoruba Bible. Ajayi was a slave. Ajayi was what? A slave. But it's from Oyo State. From where? Oyo State. From a village in Oyo State called Osho Ogun Village. Osho what? Ogun Village. In Iseyin local government. Iseyin what? Local government. Ajayi born in 1809, but 1821, age of 12 years, Ajayi captured in Oyo State and sold to Badagry. That time, no vehicle. Slaves have to walk from Oyo with the chain on their neck, hands and leg, and they walk from Oyo to Badagry. They spend 2.5 months on their route to Badagry. So getting to Badagry, Badagry have a market. I don't know, maybe you are been to the slave market. You are still going there, and that is the biggest, largest slave market in West Africa. The market happened to be the biggest, largest what? Slave market in West Africa, because every market day, 300 slaves sold every market day. But 5 days normally used to spend the market in a week. Every market day, 300 what? Sold every market day. But 5 days normally used to spend the market in a week. So 300 times 5. 1,500 slaves. So 1,500 slaves sold every what? Week. So one slave that have been taken from that place, they have to take them to Brazilian slave barracoon. That is where slaves have been kept for a period of 2 to 3 months before their ship arrive. So they pull them into a paddle boat from here and take them to the one island. I don't know, maybe you are still going to that place. Okay, the island, it was called the point of no return, because once slave gets to that island, slaves are not coming back. See, on the line, so once slave get to the island, slaves are not what? Coming back. So from that place, they pull them into the bigger ship and take them to the different countries like that. But that man Ajayi Crowther, he returned from a land of no return. You know, the island called the point of no return. But Ajayi later returned back when he was around age of 70. So he returned back, and he was taken as slave when he was age of what? 12 years. But when this man returned back, age of 70 plus, the man returned with a group of missionaries. He returned with a group of what? Missionaries. Because the man have already been trained by the missionary over there. And that name called Crowther is the master's name. So the name given to him, Samuel, is a baptismal what? Name. His own name is what? Ajayi. But he returned with those names back to Africa, to Nigeria. He was the one doing the work of interpreter for the missionary and helped the missionary to change English Bible into what? Yoruba Bible. We are going to see the picture of the missionary that live here. Life of Reverend Thomas Besh Freeman, Harry Townsend, Goldman, that built the story building. We're also going to see the church was built at this point. The church is very big, but the churches have collapsed 1911. But the church built in 1843. Then we're going to see the chair inside of this building, one of the chair of those missionaries. But the chair since 1878 is about 146 years old chair. And inside of this building, we are going to see a bank. We are going to see what? Bank. Yes, bank. We are going to see the bank. First missionary bank. First what? Missionary bank. And that is where the missionary kept money and some of the valuables items in. We are going to see money inside. Do you want to see the money inside of the safe? Yes. You'd like to see the money inside of the safe. But do you want to bank with us? Hey. So you are not going to see the money there. So, but we have some money inside of the safe. So Baba is going to explain some of the olden days money because Baba spends some of those money that time. But although he didn't spend cowries, but he spent some of the money called shilling, penny. Mama spent all those money. Shilling, penny, and pounds. Mama ain't paying kobo oni huabi. So, and those money, all those money, we are going to see those money inside of the safe. Now, what year we started spending our own currency? What year we started spending naira and kobo? What year? No. 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 The Federal Republic of Nigeria changed to naira and kobo. What year? No. 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 You want to get something there. 9. No. Okay. Fine. Well, okay. Fine. No problem. So I'm going to give you the 4 options. Option A, 1953. Option A, 1953. Option B, 1963. Option C, 1973. Option D, 1983. Which one? 19. Clap for the boy there. 1973. 19 what? 73. No, you mentioned 1963. Yes. So 73. Okay. Clap for Mama here. Clap for Mama. Okay. Clap for Mama. Okay, 19 what? 73. And so we changed to naira and kobo. So we started spending money called 1 kobo, half kobo, 5 kobo, 10 kobo, 25 kobo, 50 kobo, and 1 naira. We're going to see those money inside of the safe. Now look at the well over there. So the well was dug in 1842. The well was dug in 1842. The well was dug in 1842. Since 1842, it have never run in a dry and it have never changed color since 1842. Well water in Badagry used to dry. You know, we close to the water called the lagoon water. Lagoon water mixed to our water in Badagry and polluted all our water. All our water is colored and it have taste. But this is the only well water in Badagry that is clean, tasteless, odorless, colorless, and germless. And never running dry since 1842. It have never run in a dry since 1842. No matter how people come to fetch water, it won't dry and it won't change color. Now, me and you, that we have faith in Almighty God, Almighty Allah, you know, we take this water at home. We use the water for prayer. And it work is because that we attach faith into what? Into the water. And they come back to name the well water what? Miracle well. Miracle what? Well. So my name is Mr. Ezekiel Soteji Viavonu. I work for the Diocese of Badagry Anglican Communion Church of Nigeria. Thank you very much for paying a visit to Badagry First Story Building, Nigeria.
Hey, listen. This is the zinc on top of it.
That's the zinc at the root. Can you hear the sound?
Since 1842. Are you clear? It's okay. Now, these are the nails on top of it since 1842. Don't touch. Leave it. Just look it. And these are the bricks they use on it. They imported it from no noise now. They imported it from Sheffield in England and was sent from the ground level. I've sent you out from ground level down to the up, and they use clay to shock it up, not cement since that time. That's the issues of the doors since 1842. Are you clear?
So what are this one used for?
Egypt. Don't know Egypt. So we go to the next room here. Go up. All these doors, all this window have been here since 1842. The doors and the windows. And this is the Agia tree that they are talking about. That lasts for 350 years before falling down 1959. The tree is no more, but there's a monument over there. That's the monument over there. That's why you see the sign of the cross. That's where Christianity started from, the whole Nigeria before spreading out the whole federation. Our Christmas we are doing today started under that place. And if you look your bag, turn to your bag, you can see some of them celebrating it inside the glass here. Are you? Some of them are not celebrating it. They put Xmas in their chest. And this is the man who competed with the building. C.A. Goma, no noise please. C.A. Goma. You know the people living here, they are missionaries. Some of them die on malaria fever. But this is the man who competed with it. Now let's see the room of the fake teacher. You know education started in Badagry here. This is the first teacher in the whole Nigeria who taught us how to read and write. Mr. Tenets Schools. And this is the first primary school in Nigeria, belong to the Anglican, that's CMS. I have told you the education we are reading today started from this place before spreading out the whole federation. And you can just see the full information, the room of the first teacher in Nigeria, Mr. Tenets Schools, 1845 to 1868. The name of the first primary school in Nigeria was St. Thomas's Primary School, established 1845 with 40 men like me. If your hand is not up to your year, nobody will register you in the school during that time. Are you clear? Now we are going to see the first Bible they brought to the country. This is the room of the first African bishop, Bishop Samuel Ajayi Crowther. You can just see him. I can just see him with the grandson Herbert Macaulay over there. And this is the school that he attended in Sierra Leone. And this is the first Bible they brought to the country, King James Version in the whole Nigeria. First Bible as a whole. Just it. First Bible as a whole in Nigeria, King James Version. And Ajayi Crowther sat down here 1845-1846 for people to know how to read Yoruba Bible. This is the first copy they used to print other one up to the standard date. And this is the company where they printed it from. That's the hanger where he hang the jammer when he's busy with the Bible. Are you clear? Hanger. You are using iron now, but that's the hanger of those days. That's the hanger of those days. So this is the first Bible they brought to the country, King James Version. And this is the one that Ajayi Crowther sat down here. He used 1 year on it for the people to know how to read Yoruba Bible. This the one they used to print other one up to the standard date. Are you clear? This is the C.A. Goma. This is the C.A. Goma who completed with the building. This is the picture. And this is the man who brought the first Bible. Henry Townsend belonged to the Anglican Church. That's CMS. And this Thomas Bar Freeman belonged to the Methodists. He's a slave. They arrived together with Ajayi Crowther down to this place. The two of them are pushing to them under this tree called Agia tree. Are you clear? So this Thomas Bar Freeman is a slave too. So let's see the first saving bank where they kept their money. You see some of the share they left behind. Hey, my friend, leave it. Thousands of people on it. Thousands of people on it.
This is the first, you can just see some of the share they left behind. And this is the fake saving bank where they kept their money and important documents. Established 1856. What year? Hold it for me. Hold it. And this is the first money. Go inside. Go inside there. Now, this is the first money cowrie that they showed to you yesterday. After that one, they spend what we call farding. This farding, your father will say, I don't have any farding to give to you. Or Nini, this is the farding. This is the farding. After that one, what the uncle is telling you, these are the pens. This one cancelled 1972. So after that one, we spent during that time we spent shillings. After that one, we spent 10 kobo instead of shilling. Then before all of you will know this one, Babangida money. Naira kobo. And you are going to see the naira now. Wait. This is the naira. This is the naira now. 1 naira. This is 1 naira. Hey, don't noise. This is 1 naira. During the time of Abacha. And these are the 5 naira. No noise. This is another 5 naira. This is another 5 naira. Have you seen it? Now, this is 50 kobo. 50 kobo. Don't touch anything there. 50 kobo. This is 50 naira. This is 50 naira. So when they spread the country, 5 naira become 20 naira. This is another 5 naira.
We are here in Badagry for a 2 days excursion. We've been here since yesterday, 29th February 2024. We are going back today, but 1st of March 2024. We've seen the first well-dug here in Badagry. We've seen the first primary school picture. We've seen the missionaries, including Ajayi Crowder, who translated Bible from English language to Yoruba language.
We've visited the Seriki Palace, we've visited a point of no return, like the river itself. And today we are here in the 4-story building. We've also seen the first primary school in Nigeria. I felt so bad and I nearly cried because I hung the chain on my neck and I felt how heavy it was, and then I felt the pains on my back and my chest. The Tenets Schools is a very, very wonderful school that actually I cannot believe I'm going to be leaving this year. So, good.
One of those things we need to part in life and we part to make much later for the better. Now, you are leaving the secondary school for higher institution. You will come back somebody that is very high in your life and you come and do wonders in your life.
I'm short of words right now and I don't know how much to appreciate them. for bringing us to this one. This is not my first excursion that I'll be spending a night actually, because the last one we actually spent 2 nights, but due to circumstances, we had to spend just 1 night this time around.
The building of the museum itself was built in the year 1863. So the building itself was built in the year 1863. So it was the former district officer's office, and it was lately converted to a museum in the year 2002. So, and there's a museum under the Lagos State Government, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. So in the museum we have 8 different galleries, and each of the museums, the stories of each gallery are arranged sequentially, talking about the transatlantic slave trade. So the first gallery is called Introduction. So the first place is called the Introduction. So at the Introduction gallery, so you see a diagram, so which indicates how the Europeans moved from Europe down to West Africa. So how, and they take slaves from West Africa down to West Indies. At the West Indies, the slaves were forced to work on the plantation. So while working on the plantation, there are some things that they planted, such as tobacco, cotton, sugarcane. So what they planted will be harvested and will be taken back to Europe. In Europe, you see those crops that turn to finishing goods. Sugarcane into sugar, tobacco into cigarettes, cotton into textiles. And then they bring them to Africa again in exchange for more slaves. So the movement is triangular. And because they're working between the Atlantic Ocean, so they come across the Atlantic triangular slave trade. At the same place, you're going to see a symbol used to campaign against slave trade. So when the slaves decide to take destiny into their hands, then you see the slave asking, am I not a man and a brother? And you see the way they chain the hands and the legs of the slaves together. Then the slave is trying to beg for freedom from the person that's captured him as a slave by asking, am I not a man and a brother? At the same place, we have the African civilization, we have the African effort before the arrival of the European. So part of the African effort is civilization. Before the arrival of European, African has been civilized. Then when we talk about civilization all over the world, Egypt is the cradle of civilization all over the world. So you see some pictures, so that you see Egyptian. And then also we have how the Europeans divide the West African country into 4 major coasts. Each of the coasts was named after the primary resources they discovered. So the first one is called Grain Coast, and the Grain Coast is Sierra Leone and Senegal. And the second one is called the Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is Côte d'Ivoire. The third one is the Gold Coast, and the Gold Coast is Ghana. And the last one is the Slave Coast. And the Slave Coast is Ouida in Benin Republic, and then Badagry in Nigeria. The spelling of Ouida is O-U-I-D-A-H. O-U-I-D-A-H. So Badagry and Ouida are called the Slave Coast. And then this next gallery is called the Capture. So at the Capture gallery, you are going to see some weapons used in slave raiding. So you have some weapons used in slave raiding. So the weapons include, hello, I'll be angry at you. So you see the weapons include the iron sword and the Dane gun. So you see the original gun and the original sword, and I'm sure they have already told you that they use some items in exchange for slaves. Yes, that they use umbrella, they use gun. So you see the original gun and then the original sword used in slave raiding. And also you see some chains on the walls as well. So, and I'm sure you have seen some of the chains at the Mobile Museum. So, and also you are going to see the neck chain that is for the kids, for the children. And also we have an artistic impression of how they tortured the slaves at the Badagry point of no return. Then the same place, we have a box. Inside the box, you are going to see some items used in exchange for slaves. The items include the whiskey bottle, we have the cowries, we have manillas, and then you are going to see something like a white there. This is called the tobacco pipe. So those are some of the things that they use in exchange for the slaves. And then also we have the slave facilitators, the slave dealers. Though we have both African and the foreign slave dealers. And then there's a picture of a man called Prince Henry the Navigator. Navigator is the man who explored the West African coast. And also we have a man called Captain John Hawkins. Hawkins is the first English slave dealer that left the shore of West Africa with 300 slaves. And also we have a man called Felix de Souza. De Souza happens to be a slave dealer is an Afro-Brazilian actually. So he dominated the trade for 30 years in Wida. He first came to Badagry before going to Wida in Benin Republic and was there for 30 good years. And then the next gallery is called the equipment. So you have a cone-shaped pot called the slave drinking pot. So on the plantation, the master filled the pot with water for the slaves, and all the slaves surround the pot, put their mouth or use their hands to scoop water from the pot. The drinking is survival of the fittest, because once the water finishes from the pot, that's the end for that day. And I'm sure you have seen something similar at the Mobile Museum. So while they're drinking from the pot, they get caught because the pot is too sharpened. So even they get caught and their blood goes into the water. So with the blood, they still continue to drink. And also we have the replica of the slave ship. So inside the ship, we have two decks. We have the upper deck and the lower deck. Upper deck are designed for the masters and the lower deck are designed for the slaves. And you see the way they load the slaves at the lower deck of the ship. They lie down and they face up for 2 to 12 weeks. At the same position, the slaves urinate and defecate, and they died every day. So that's why the master has to go for inspection, pick the weak ones, the dead ones, and then throw them inside the ocean. And at times, when the ship becomes too heavy, to make the ship becomes lighter, they throw some of the slaves inside the Atlantic Ocean to make the ship becomes lighter. And also, we're going to see an original cannon gun used in exchange for 100 slaves. So that is, they give the African chiefs the cannon gun, and the chiefs give them at least 50 to 100 slaves in return. So at the upper gallery, we have the resistance and the punishment. So there are going to see a statue of a slave that is trying to escape. And then you see the dog that attacked the slaves. And the dogs were trained to cut off the throat of the slaves and kill the slave. But if the slave killed the dogs, the masters release more dogs because they prefer the slave to die than going alive. So you see different punishment that they give to the slave. You see the hanging of the slaves. You see the lashing of the slaves in public. And also, we have the next gallery called the industry. So at the industry gallery, we have told that we have two categories of the slaves. So we have the domestic slaves and we have the field or the plantation slaves. Domestic are those slaves that work in the house for their masters. But you see, most times, domestic are the old ones, the ones that cannot even handle difficult jobs. So they were asked to work inside the house for their masters. And then you see the ones that work on the plantation. So they work from morning till night. And at times, when the moon is out at night and they see that they can see clearly, the master called the slaves out again to come and work for more. And we have the gag slave. For the slaves that work on the plantation, sugarcane plantation to be precise, they are not allowed to eat or to talk to one another. So they have to cover their mouths any time they will be working on the plantation. So and then they cover their mouth with two things. At times they use an iron to cover the mouth of the slaves, and at times they pierce the lips of the slaves up and down, and then they put padlock for the slaves not to be able to talk or to eat from what they are planting. Then the second to the last gallery is called the abolition and integration. Abolition and integration. So there you are going to see some pictures of some people that stopped the transatlantic slave trade. So we have the likes of the Nani of Ghana, Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner, Toussaint Louverture, and also we have the Amazons. There's a movie called The Woman King. Yes, so the Amazons of Dahomey. And also we have the next gallery called the Badagry. At the Badagry gallery, I'm going to see a masquerade called Zangbeto masquerade. So Zangbeto is a popular masquerade among the Ogu-speaking community in the whole of West Africa. It's used for security and entertainment, and it's a cult. The cult mentor is called Zangan or Azogan. And also we have two pairs of drums called Sato drum. Sato are twin drums used during special occasion in Badagry. And they beat the drum with a stick called Agida. and the drum is only beaten by orphans. And they use the drum to wipe the cause of stillbirth from Badagry. Stillbirth are what Yoruba call abiku. And also we have different occupations in Badagry, which includes the mat weaving, basket weaving, coconut farming and marketing, boat carving, and fishing is also one of the major occupations in Badagry. And lastly, I'm going to see a picture of a street in Badagry in 1889 and Badagry in 2019. That is Badagry before and Badagry now. I remember myself, Ndeyi Isiaq Olamide, and people call me Young Professor. Thanks for coming.
Well, look on the wall. This is Egypt. Come inside. This is Egypt. They are talking about it for you. Means we have civilization before Oyinbo introduced civilization to us. This is the Roman Empire. So these are the white slaves. Follow yourself. Where is the boys? Follow. Say bye bye bye. Okay. So you see, some of the white among the slaves, they liquor them. This is how they marry them to the point of no return with the children. This is what they used during that time to bring them down here. Camel. These are the. Come inside. Come inside. Don't block the road. These are some of the items they used to for them. Gone for 40 human beings. So you have seen the show in the Mobile Slave Riding Museum. You see this one was tortured to the death point. You see, and this is how they branded them, and this is how they captured the whole family. Come on now. Come here. These are the things they used to exchange them. Bottle since 17th century, 18th century. This Mandela, these are the money that they used to exchange there during that time. And if you look this side, they are now expecting them. They want to bought some of them. They liquor them, so they have to see how heavy they are. These are the macrons, the rejected one. They prefer them to die more than to survive, to give them freedom. And this is how they march them to the point of no return. This is the Barakun where we are coming from yesterday. This is the Barakun, you see there? Let's come along. All right. These are the facilitators. These are the facilitators. This is the cannon gun for 100 slaves to exchange. You can just see how they loaded them like sardine inside the deck. These are the slave ship. The master, they loaded about 700 people under the deck, and the master will be enjoyed with beautiful, beautiful girls at all. You are laughing. So, you see there how they put them in the ship for 4 months. This is how they arrange them in the ship for 4 months or 6 months before they get to their destination. See them? For 4 months or 6 months before they get to their destination. That's a replica ship. The master will loaded about 700 people under the deck, and they will be enjoyed with the beautiful, beautiful girls at all. And you can just see the way they arrange there, like standing over there. See the rejected one. See some of them. Come in. Come in. I want me to release the dog for you. Now, you see, they have trained. Anyone through, they prefer them to die more than to survive. Anyone prove stubborn, the dog can call the truth. They have trained them so that person can die away. So this is punishment gallery. Different punishment. Now see some of them. See the way they are torturing them. One leg up, one leg down. See, this one leg here, one hand here. Of course. See, that one have already died. This one have already died. They are beaten to the death point. Yes, to the death point. You see another one here. See, horse. They're now bringing on the way. They will be beating him. See.
This way, please. Don't mix.
Don't mix. Guys, come. Guys, come. Leave the boys. This one for domestic works. They have already castrated this one. They are husband and wife. But this one have been released. This one is not yet to be released. After releasing him from America, it takes him down to Brazil. Now petting her. One day, you yourself will be free. You yourself will be free. And one day, he's petting her. One day, you yourself will be free. But they have already released this one from America. And they have already castrated him. He cannot produce again. But they don't want him to tamper with their wives. So see what they use them for. Sugarcane plantation. That's what they use them for. Cottonwood plantation. If they pregnant any blacks, they'll give the baby to some of their nuns to take care of it. When they pregnant some of the blacks,
Are you not a boy?
Boys, go there. They pregnant some of them, so we call them mulatto or half caste. You can just gang one, not to talk or to eat out of the sugar cane. They gang them not to talk or to eat out of the sugar cane. And you can just see where they are working again. Rice garden, sugar cane. See them. Now, next gallery. Now, this is the architect building. When you go to Lagos, you are going to approach some of it because they are experts in the architect building. The Brazilians. These are all the turtles. And this building fell down in the Seriki Abbas compound. So this is Darosha, the richest one who returned from Brazil. This Bishop Samuel Ajayi Crowder. And you look at this woman. It's an Igbo girl. It's an Igbo girl fighting for the freedom. And this one escaped about 300 slaves. You can just see it. It's a Ghanaian. But it's in Jamaica. Jamaica, that's America. No. Yes, the country is seized. He escaped about 300 slaves. And there are some of the freedom fighters. You can just there they exchange war, fight within the masters over there. Are you clear? Come here. Sorry. Now, and they don't want to give them education. Now, after the abolishment of the slave trade, they are now want to give them education. They say, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. Are you clear? So, these are the people who fought for the freedom of stopping the slave trade. Gravel Sharp, Thomas Glasson, Kwado Ikwe is an Igbo girl. He's a girl. Now this William Wilberforce. These are the caution. Then went on. that they are doing in Brazil up to today. This is our own Shango. This is their Yemoja, god of water that they serve. Also, this is their Shango there, over there in Brazil, that they are still serving up to the standard day. This is their Ogoni. This is Carnival of Calabar. This is the Zangbeto Masquerade, and this is the drum. That drum they show to you represent Channel 7. That's Zangbeto. That's Zangbeto Masquerade. You can just see me there.
So this is the drum.
That's the drum.
What the drum?
They will jump. You don't used to see them in Channel 7 represent Lagos State. They will jump and start beating. And they are orphan people. So if their mother, their father did not die, if they beat it, that person, their mother or their father is going to die.
Better don't beat it.
It's a traditional something.
So, sir, if somebody has
They make sure that their father and their mother have already died. Zangbeto Masquerade here. You are not playing Zangbeto. Zangbeto Masquerade that they told you. You can, if you came late here in the late hour, they will torture you. Sometimes when there's a governor or any other thing, they will be out, disappear. You can just see them dancing here. Now they disappear. You can just see them where we are coming from the hotel again. This is where we are coming from yesterday. Mobi. This is the tree for Agia. This is the tree for Agia. This is where we are coming from. This is the canal gun. This is the slave port where we parked our vehicle yesterday. This is the first story building. This is Loluga.
And that is the point of no return.
Yes. This is Loluga house. This is Seriki Abbas. That's Baraku. These are the cultures. This Egungun culture that we have in Badagry. You can see another one. Who is this person?
You.
You try. You can get it. Yes. No. This lagoon leading to Lagos. Point of no return is across. It's across.
Now we're about to go to the slave market.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, sir.
You are welcome to Badagry Slave Market International. What did I call it?
Badagry Slave Market.
Thank you. The market was established in the year 1502. The slave market was established in the year 1502. And every market day, 300 slaves have been sold out every market day here in Badagry. And the market days is every 5 days. Let us divide this ourselves. 300 times 4, 1,200. 1,200 times 12.
That's 12.
That is per year now. Really. Let's leave that. Do that calculation yourself. 144. 144, not 14,000. So here is Vlekete Shrine. Vlekete Shrine, I can see it there. It's an aquatic deity. Aquatic is what? Water. Abi? Deity is what? All these are small what? Gods. It's an aquatic deity. The belief is the goddess of winds, ocean, and prosperity. Before they embark on a journey to go and sell their slaves, they perform some rituals there and sacrifice for a safe journey on the water so that they will go well and come back safely. They use all these jinn, kola to perform those sacrifices there for safe journey on the water so that the wind, I've called wind, so that the wind will not blow the slaves inside the water and so that the ocean will not sink the slaves. This shrine has been in existence before the slave market. This shrine has been existent before the king of Badagry. That we're doing it before the creation of the slave market. And in every shrine, especially in Badagry, we normally have a tree in front of every shrine. The leaf, we call it Ewe Akoko. Yes, this is the leaf. So after they leave here, they will go under the tree to perform another rite. That is when they will throw kola nut down. When the kola nut is open, that means the prayer will be what? Accepted to go on the journey. When the kola nut is closed down, they will do it again until kola nut is what? Open before they can embark on the journey. In a situation whereby the kola nut did not open, you know, and the journey is very important, there is no how that the kola nut will not open when they have to go for the journey. They will maneuver in one way or the other that the kola nut will do what? Will open before they can embark on the journey. In one way or the other, they will maneuver. Are we following? Are we following? Now, you are in Badagry. Badagry has so many things. I know you have been learning since morning. You have seen the first story building. Abi, Ajayi Crowder. You have seen the Barracoon. For a prison is for 40 slaves. You have seen the umbrella for how many slaves? 40 slaves. You have seen Moby and Moby J. Are we following? And so on and so forth. You have been learning in Badagry. So let's continue. Here is Richard Lander. Everybody says trial of Richard Lander. The trial of Richard Lander. Thank you. Hugh Clapperton and Richard Lander came to Badagry in the year 1825. Richard Lander visited Badagry that same year when he was coming from Katonga, Old Oyo, now Oyo. The Portuguese slave merchant that were already in Badagry at that time reported Richard Lander that he came to Badagry to come and spy. And this is Richard Lander. And British abolished their own slavery in 1807 before 1825. It's from British. And this place is like a customary court where they tried people. Maybe you are guilty of the offense or you are not guilty of the offense. He was tried in front of the king. This is the king of Badagry as at that time. Mewu Akan of Badagry. The two chiefs in Badagry. Chief Mobi, where we are coming from. Chief Wawu. Another quarters in Badagry. Here is the chief priest. As he is guilty, when he take the concussion, so then what will happen? He will die 5 years after, 10 years after. He will die instantly. That's what I'm saying. He will die instantly. But because he's coming to Badagry to explore Badagry, he take the concussion and he survived the trial. Nothing happens to him. Are we following? And there is a story I normally add to that. Very simple. I want you to be very calm and hear this story. Assuming we are reading this concussion in Nigeria, I know Nigeria will have better in one way or the other. True or false?
True. 100% true.
All these are politicians. They will be holding Bible or Quran. I swear. You know, Bible and Quran, the judgment is not instantly. Are you following? God will be looking at you. Let me just pardon this guy. And Quran as well. Concussion will not pardon you. If you take concussion and you messed up, you do what? You die instantly. I know people will only for one position or the other. True or false? But you know, we Africans, we love how to maneuver things. Before they take the concussion, they will have gone before they take the concussion to go and meet the chief priest.
Yes.
We are coming tomorrow. Please.
They will bribe him.
Don't give us concussion.
Give
us wine, okay? So that when we take the concussion, we will not die instantly. Here is enslavement gallery. Enslavement gallery. How the slave were being what? Enslaved. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
How the slave were being what? Enslaved. This is called shambet. Everybody say shambet. Shambet. And some concussion inside the calabash. The slave hunters,
They put the shambed on their waist and wear clothes on top of it and take some concussion before going for opening of state to go and catch slaves. They use it for protection. In Yoruba we call it what? Bante. So this is the shambed. Bante. They put it on their waist and take some concussion before going for opening of slaves. Go and catch slaves. Here we have the African tallest drum. The African tallest drum. Drum. Ilu. You can see the drum is what? It's break down into different places. Are you following? Your festival, fishing here, Shango festival, Osun festival, till the last era here that talks about slavery. You can see Shane in the last era. The people that beat the drum are those people that put stick on the leg that work with stick. The stick worker. In Yoruba we call them what? Agere. Here we have some materials used as a means of exchange of slaves. I know you have seen it. You have seen it at Mobi. The white people give us a bottle of gin. We give them 10 able men. Manila is like iron, like bangles. Depending on what's the bargain. If you look at your 100 naira, you see you see the Manila your 100 naira. These are the shackles used for the slaves, male chain and the female chain. The male chain is thicker than the female chain because it is telling you one way or the other that women, I will always say it, women will suffer more than the women. We carry the load, we pay school fees, we pay house rent, we pay all the bills at home. Abi? Yes. Men. Yes. So here we have the enslaved Africans being marched down from the hinterland to the slave market. How they march them from the hinterland where they are coming from to the slave market. It depends on the slave market they are going to. It's either this place or Calabar and Young Market. It depends on where they are going to. Here are the victims of the needless war during transatlantic slave trade. They have been captured already. They cannot run away anymore. Caravan of captured slaves. Here is the chief priest in Badagry. Before he sell his slaves, he performed some mission for the slaves before sending them out for safe journey to the new world. Are we following? So that when they get to where they are going to, they are very, very strong to work on any plantation so that the buyer wants to come back again, come and buy more. Marketing strategy. I know you have seen this man today. Here's the man called Sama Jai Kauda. He was captured from his own town called Oshogu in Oyo State at the age of 12 years old. Slave also from Sokoto. Let's go to slave market gallery. Here is slave market gallery. Everybody say slave market gallery. Where we have slave market in the world apart from this very place. This is Bulekete slave market established in 1502. This very place, this is slave market in 1502. Slave market in Paris in 1778. Where can we find Paris? France. Thank you. Sumbu Mobi, the prominent site in Badagry, where they store the slaves. The last is slaves in USA. Slave market in Brazil called Salão do House slave market. These are the selected price of slave market around 1440 to 1870. You can see the price of slave market around 1440 to 1870. Sorry, sir. This is how they operate the market. This is how they operate the market. Two slaves, the white merchant and the black merchant, negotiating how they want to sell the two slaves. Negotiation period. Sorry. I'm sorry. Here we have Black Friday sales. Black Friday sales. Jumia Bonanza. Where the price of the slaves will do what? Will come down. And there is nobody that they cannot sell. Nego get a 1 year old was sold for $150. Nego man Dick is the name. 55 years old was sold for $200. Nego man Ramso 33 years old was sold for $800. This man is costing than this man because this man is having age on his side more than this man. He can still work better on the plantation more than the other man. Slave market in USA, St. Augustine slave market, slave port in Liverpool, slave market in Zanzibar. The last place, after this place, the last place is what? Dungeon, the underground cell. Now, here is the middle passage. The middle passage simply means the activities that happens inside the ship, how they move the slave from one place to another. Are we following? When the ship cannot move very fast on the water, the right person will be started to go some inside water, but the ship will be very fast in water. That's why when you go from inside water, no one will be eaten by what? And they are doing that again for the slave, for the children of God, not to see. And 15, that will be white people have died. I don't follow this. And by the offload the ship. Here is Wida, one of the biggest ports in Benin. It's called Wida, one of the biggest ports in Benin. Here is the last slave ship that left Badagry for Bahia. Bahia is from where? Brazil in 1888. The slave route, transfer slave trade, how they work with the slave throughout the world, turning the slave through some materials as a medium of exchange of slaves. Cannon gun, big cannon gun for 100 slaves, abi? The small cannon gun for how many slaves? 40 slaves. One umbrella for 40 slaves. Manila, it depends on what's the bargain. And so on and so forth. Bottle of gin for 10 slaves. Gunpowder, it depends on what's the bargain. And so on and so forth. First slave ship departed from the slave coast in 17th century. I love this story. I love this story. The tragic yet courageous in the US coast of Georgia, the Igbo people, they owe themselves, they enter the water together and they commit mass suicide. That it is better for us to die together than to be a slave in the US coast of Georgia. After 19 years, people still went to that water. They still found some of their bones standing on the water, inside the water, holding themselves like this. It is not easy, it takes courage. If anybody comes in and says, let us die together, I know I will be the number one to do what? To run away. Even the country is not encouraging, but we are still eating. Are we following? Are we following? This is how they load the ship. We have the upper deck of the ship and the lower deck of the ship. Can they Japan the slaves together in the lower deck of the ship. They defecate there, they do all sorts of things in the lower deck of the ship. This is Zombo Saka, where 130 slaves were being thrown inside the water for the ship to be lighter. The example of this is the ship behind you that you have seen. Why the white Martian throwing some slaves inside water so that the ship can be what? Lighter. Enslaved Africans going through the routine check inside the ship before sending them out. And other slave ship to the Red Sea. Arrival of enslaved Africans to the New World. The helpless Africans inside the ship to unknown destination, where some of them will be killed, while some of them will be used as sacrifice. Enslaved Africans coming down from the slave ship in 16th century. The middle passage slave ship inside the ship. Let's go to the dungeon. This is the dungeon where the unsold slaves were kept till another market day, and the market day is every 5 days. So after 5 days, they'll come and select some slaves. The selected ones, they'll go and sell those ones. The leftover will be here till another 5 days. At that time, there is no bamboo like this that surround the dungeon. It's an open dungeon. Rain will fall on them, sun will shine on them. And at that time, there is no staircase in the dungeon. They use ladder to take them in. They use ladder to bring them up. And they eat one slice of bread per day. One slice of bread per day. But we can't compare the one they are eating at that time. The one they are eating at that time is somehow thicker than the one we are eating. But what is not good is not good. Are we following? And at that time, the dungeon is very what? Deep. It's government that do what? That sanfill it so that the tourists can have access inside the dungeon. And we have 3 categories of slaves inside the dungeon. We have the plantation slaves. Are we following? They having, I'm just saying it so that if you enter, we just look at the slaves and we will come outside. Are we following? The iron on the neck of the slaves is having what? Edge. When they are in the plantation and they are working, the edge of the iron will be touching the tree. For them not to escape, the masters will hear that sound and they will be captured not to escape because it will be very, very heavy on them. And we have a brave slave. Some of my colleagues called a brave slave a stubborn slave, but I call it a brave slave. It's not easy to use gadget on the head of the slave, iron on the head of the slave, and iron will tighten the head of the slave, and blood will start coming out. For the slave not to do what? Not to talk with other slaves. Are we following? Are we following? The last slave is what? A old slave, very calm. He's not having chain on the two ends. He's only having chain on the two legs. You are welcome to Badagry Slave Market International.
Excursions show us the way our forefathers has been treated in the past, the way they have been forced to do so many bad things in order for the whites to enjoy themselves. So it's so saddening. It's something that worth a while coming to see.
Alhamdulillah, as you have seen, we are already appreciating Allah for His journey mercies, for His grace, because due to the insecurity in the country, Allah still made it possible for us. We also want to thank our parents for believing in us, and with their prayers, with their support, with their cash, may Allah continue to bless them and make these children positive future leaders.
We actually enjoyed ourselves. The food they gave us was okay. It was really, really nice. And the hotel was actually fantastic. Electricity, AC and everything. Oh, it was lovely. I really, really appreciate this. Oh, Jazakumullah khairan.
Thank you, the Tenets College, for taking us out on a wonderful excursion.
I am happy for being part of this excursion. Thank you, the Tenets College.
And I wish so many people to come to our school, because our school is very, very lovely, fun, interesting, and it is like the education is very, very wonderful, and the teachers are good.
A big thank you and Jazakumullah khairan, and better more next time.
We just really appreciate the school for bringing us down here to Badagry.